Good morning, everyone. Um, I'm on here this morning just to share my heart again, what's new. Um, but I do think that sometimes we are supposed to share what's on our mind to help other people. I know that when we're quiet about things, if we start talking about things, it can help other people, and that's what I'm on here today. So I have been feeling just a little out of sorts the last week, actually. And just saying that word feeling, I know, especially as women, those feelings can be certainly be deceitful, and I think that's exactly what's going on with me. It's just all these feelings. But what's been happening is I've been feeling out of control. And when I say out of control, I really mean I think I've been trying to control a lot of things around me. And isn't that sometimes what women try to do? But I've been feeling out of control because I've been trying to stay in control and, just manipulate things around me. So here's what happened this morning. I have been looking forward to this morning for a long time. And here's why. My son is off school today, so that meant that I didn't have to leave really, really early to get him to school. And once I drive him to school, or once he drives and I ride, I'm out for the day. I'm doing my errands and things like that, so I just don't get quiet time. So I've been looking forward to just planting myself on my couch with a big cup of coffee and not having any distractions. In fact, there's nobody at my house right now. All my kids are at our cabin, so I've got the whole house to myself, and I have been looking forward to this morning for a long time. And here's what happened. In that quiet time with myself in my robe and my hair all messed up, I just sat in the dark, and I was just like, okay, Lord, speak to me. Calm my heart, help me to give you control. But even doing that, my mind was racing a mile a minute about what I wanted to do for the rest of the day or things that needed to be done over the next several days. And it was at that moment I looked down and my little dogs, most of you see my dogs on Facebook a lot. I've got 3 of them, but 2 of them are little lap dogs, and they're always sitting on my lap. In fact, I don't know if you can see, there's one, there's the other one. As I'm having this quiet time this morning, I look down and my dogs are pretty much in the same position that they are now, just nestled next to me and content and at peace. And I know you probably know where I'm going with this, but that's just how my mind works. But I really looked at my dogs and I thought, Lord, you are trying to give me a lesson in just these little guys. And that lesson is to just rest and to be at complete abandon. In fact, my dogs were snoring this morning. They were at such peace. But I felt the Lord was telling me, sit quietly with me and just listen and just rest and know that I have everything under control. And he brought up the Martha and Mary in the Bible, and how we know that Mary sat quietly and just took everything that the Lord said to her in, while Martha was running around and planning things. So the Lord really spoke to me through my dogs this morning and just said, be at peace and rest and let me take control. And then in that lesson, as he was telling me to sit quietly, I felt like he was really showing me too that in this season of Thanksgiving, I know top of mind for many, many, many of us, we're grateful for our family, for maybe the house that we live in, the clothing, the food that we don't want, everything we don't lack. And he was also showing me to just be content knowing if all of those things were gone, and I hope they never are, my family, my the food, my house, and everything. But if all of those were gone, he would value me. He's enough for me. That I could just be content knowing that he values me and that he has plans for me. So that's the other thing that he laid on my heart. One thing that, a verse that he brought me to was in Isaiah. I'm going to read it. You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, whose thoughts are fixed on you. So maybe the start of this holiday season, maybe that's something that somebody needed to hear out there, is to just sit quietly. He will take care of all of the stuff, and just sit at his feet and just listen. And, a favorite verse of mine is in Habakkuk, when it says, when Habakkuk says, I will climb upon my watchtower to see what the Lord has in store. He's got great things in store, but all he needs us to do is to either climb up and wait and watch, or sit and listen. And then the last thing I wanted to read this morning is in this great book that I'm reading again, and I'm just slowly going through it, that Draw the Circle book, where it says, don't worry about making headlines. Focus on the footnotes. And if you focus on the footnotes, God is going to write the headlines. So take your focus on what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next? And wait to see what he does, because he's going to make the headlines. You focus on those footnotes. You focus on being quiet around him. You focus on listening. You focus on giving over control instead of feeling out of control because you're trying to keep everything in control. You give it to him. Focus on the footnotes, and he's going to write the headlines. He's going to make everything work out, and that he values you, and you can be content just where you are. So this is probably something many, 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 many of you know, but I know the enemy hates it when we speak the truth over just one person. So maybe it's one person out there, maybe it's several people, maybe it's nobody, and he wanted me to just say this out loud so that I could really claim it as well. So have a great day, have a great Thanksgiving, and I thank you so much for listening.